Welcome to the GreenPill.Network podcast. If you're just joining us, we're building a coordination, a network society of thousands of hackers, dreamers, and doers focused on using crypto to bring positive sum digital systems to the world. This podcast features the people who are doing it. And if you want to learn more, you can visit our website at GreenPill.Network, where you can download the GreenPill books for free, join the Discord, or become a member of your local GreenPill.Network chapter. All right, today I am talking to Peeth.eth, who is an old friend in the space and is producing a new documentary to celebrate the 10 years of Ethereum event that's happening on July 30th, 2025. So you can check out the documentary at builtonethereum.network. And we, in this episode, talk a little bit about Peeth's vision for the documentary, why he produced it, who he produced it for. And I think this is a nice primer for celebrating 10 years of Ethereum. Happy birthday, Ethereum. You're 10 years old. You're in the double digits now. And also the documentary that Peeth just put out, which is definitely worth a watch. You can get it at builtonethereum.network. All right, enjoy. Peeth, what's going on?
Preparing for the big day tomorrow, launching the documentary.
The big day. Tell us about the launch. What are you working on?
Yeah, so for the past 6 months or so, we've been working on this documentary about Ethereum. It's called Built on Ethereum, and it's about all the categories of use cases or the narratives. So we run through like 15 of them in 40 minutes. So it's been a lot. And it's been the first time we're doing something like this. So yeah.
15 use cases. I thought crypto was just for stablecoins. What are they?
Well, beyond stablecoins, with basic things like, well, not basic, but stablecoins are the basic, and then we go to DeFi, tokenization, DAOs, deep in Web3 social, the intersection with AI, DeSci, ReFi. So yeah, there's many different things, and we just go do.
So stablecoins are just the gateway drug for bringing the world on chain?
Yeah, the tip of the iceberg.
What was the primary thing that you wanted to cover in this film, which I understand is being released on July 30th? So by the time the listeners are listening to this, it's already out. What was the primary thing, that the message that you were trying to drive, or the part of crypto that you're trying to show that doesn't get enough oxygen?
Well, everything really. I feel like this cycle has been all about first meme coins and then all about stable coins and how institutions are buying Ether and these treasury companies, ETF inflows, and it's just boring and kind of it got me a bit disillusioned, and I think I'm not the only one. So with this documentary, we're trying to highlight like through the evolution of Ethereum, like what are all of the narratives and categories of use cases that there are. I really try to cover all of them and just like show the people this whole vast field of possibilities beyond like stable coins and meme coins.
Yeah, it feels like crypto has gone corporate. I got into crypto to get out of my corporate job, and it feels like it's getting pulled back in. And there's, I think, value to that because it brings legitimacy and mainstream adoption. And the UX sucks way less than it did last cycle, but it sort of changes the culture and where everyone's attention is at. And so, I think of this possibility space as we've got programmable money, and so we can program our values into our money. And that's the possibility space, the total sphere of what can be created. But where the attention is captured is really where the most amount of value flows are, the most liquidity and the most attention. And so it feels like there's sort of like an arb here between what's possible and what's being done now. And maybe in the next cycle, we'll start to close that gap a little bit.
Yeah, and not just what's being done, but like what the focus is on. So like there's projects like the grassroots economics, which is happening. There's like 50,000 Africans using it to bootstrap whole village economies, but nobody's talking about it because like they don't have a token that people can gamble on. So like there are many, I think, cool projects that are just not getting attention. But yeah, definitely also like the whole space is just tunnel visioned into very few like categories.
Yep. Well, I've been working with Will in Grassroots Economics. We actually co-published, or Will was the author, but I helped him distribute and publish a book about grassroots economics. And as you said, 50,000 Kenyans working on chain to distribute their commitments to each other. It's really cool. I feel like that's one thing that I see in common between GreenPill and the work that I do and the work that you do, is shining light on the lesser known, but still potentially promising use cases of this design space. And so it was interesting to watch your documentary and to see your point of view on things. I know that in the course of filming, you went to DevCon and that you filmed interviews with a few industry luminaries. Can you tell me about the highlights of the things that you discovered in the film?
The highlights. It's definitely been super awesome to meet like people from other continents and like Joseph talking about how people in Africa are using crypto, like these cash apps that people are using and not even knowing that it's using stable coins in the background. And here we go like back to the topic of stable coins, but like in ways they're useful to in the like the developing countries rather than like how the corporate America can use them or like how they're cheaper transactions. Yeah, just like hearing all of that going on there or in Latin America, so like in Argentina, that's been really eye opening.
Of the things that you covered in the documentary, what are you most excited about?
Yeah, this intersection with the real world, so like projects like grassroots economics and like how people who don't have much infrastructure, especially like countries like in Africa that don't have a good banking system, they don't have like any of the things that we have out in Europe or in US, and just seeing like how they can leapfrog their economic system from like analog or like very basic to what we have like on the internet. Yeah, I think that's definitely the most interesting to me. And yeah, it really seems that like the parts of the world or like the ways that crypto can have most impact on the people is being talked about the least. And I think the primary reason for that is again just like it's there, these are not speculative use cases, they're not use cases that are going to bring in a lot of capital like the Wall Street is bringing. So like the space is just kind of ignoring those things that are happening.
Mhm. Do you feel like there's a cohort of true believers from 2017 and 2021 that have gotten disillusioned to the space, maybe pivoted to AI, maybe retired early because they made money off of crypto early? What would you say to that audience as they're taking another look at crypto through your documentary?
Yeah, I think they should. I really hope the documentary helps in inspiring people again and just like talking about this broad field of possibilities. Like when I got into crypto in 2016, and like then the 2017 cycle with all the ICOs, we had like we're gonna decentralize this industry, we're gonna build decentralize this, decentralize that, decentralize all the things, and then yeah, like we're gonna disrupt every industry there is, every system that there is, and then with every cycle we've been like more and more tunnel visioned into just a few narratives at a time. So I hope this reminds everybody like why we're really here, like what are all the things that are possible, and that like yeah, things are happening despite all this space being focused on a few things. There are a lot of cool things actually still happening in the background. It just takes time.
Can you tell me a little bit about your personal mind state as you're going through creating this documentary? Because I see in you, I mean, I've known you since 2017, 2018. I think we met at ETH Berlin in 2018. I see in you a true believer, someone who's been around from the beginning. You understand this ethos. But I also, I may be projecting this, but I'm feeling a little bit of cynicism coming from you, a little bit of, we've tried a lot of things and most of the stuff hasn't worked. And that I'm wondering if you could tell me about your own sort of mind state and how you hold these two ends of the spectrum in your own mind's eye at the same time without going insane.
Yeah, it definitely oscillates. So like getting between getting impressed by the space and getting disillusioned, and it just like I think it's all wrapped up always in the same day. Like in the same day, you will see all the cool things happening and all the bad shit happening, and it's yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I guess I used to be a lot more, as my partner would say, rose tinted glasses, like seeing everything as being amazing, but then over the years, definitely got more jaded. And then talking to people who have been here for years, felt like a lot of people shared this kind of thinking that like things seemed more cooler and more revolutionary in the prior years, and then getting more yeah, jaded over the years. And where was I going with this? Just like yeah, part of the reason that we were doing this documentary is just to, like remind ourselves like what are all the things and what really brought us here and what keeps us going, and yeah, kind of put it all into a video that other people can look at them, and especially people who are not even in the space, like people who are still skeptical of crypto and they don't know like what crypto is about, and they just heard about meme coin, they heard about Dogecoin, They heard about Ripple, they heard about stable coins, and they're like, okay, so like there's some technology that people gamble with, that they can make like stable coin payments with, but they don't know like what's beyond that, like what are other possibilities that this technology enables, let alone like what got us here originally, like what are the narratives that brought us in. So yeah, I hope it managed that we managed to inspire both like the people who have been in space for a long time and got disillusioned over the years, as well as the people who like don't know anything. So that's why we like the documentary doesn't talk about like anything technical. We don't mention proof of stake, the merge, mining. Like we don't mention anything really technical. We try to keep it as approachable as possible.
Yeah, just to share my own little take, I also live in a sort of non-dual awareness of the cynicism of the space and the optimism of what's possible. And for me, I try to focus a lot of my energy on the sort of nice edge of possibility between those two things and proving the things that were only in the possibility field are plausible. And then once they're plausible, actually trying to find a financial model to make them actually scale and have sustainability. So, anyone who's listening to this podcast, and I mean, Green Pill launched in 2022. It's been 3 years and is still around. If you're, if you're having your own thoughts on that duality of cynicism and hope, then I would invite you to share them with me on Twitter, and think about them while you're watching the documentary that Pete just produced. So let's drop the link. Where do people watch the documentary? When is it available? How long is it? And yeah, where can people find it?
Yeah, tag us, please. I would love to hear like what keeps you sane, what keeps you going. Yeah, definitely would love to hear that. The documentary will be available on YouTube under like Built on Ethereum is the title. The website is builtonethereum.network. And that's where you will also find the link to Usebox if you decide to donate a few dollars, which would definitely be greatly appreciated because, yeah, this has been so far paid out of our own pocket. Besides, we got some meat through Juicebox already. So shout out to Yelor, Grieve Green, and yeah, a bunch of other people who supported us there. Also, Public Nouns. We got a grant from Public Nouns. That's been great. So that paid a huge chunk of the expenses. But yeah, we are raising more money to pay the rest of our bills that needed to be paid while we were producing documentary. Yeah, the documentary is going live tomorrow at midnight, so a bit over 24 hours from now. So actually, yeah, midnight to Wednesday, which is Ethereum's 10th birthday. It felt like a nice date to set it on. So kind of like a gift to Ethereum for his 10th birthday. And yeah, it will be available for free to watch for anybody.
builtonethereum.network is the URL. So if you're listening, open that up in a browser tab, open that up, add it to your to watch list. I watched it as I was preparing for this interview. Thought it was really cool, and nice to see you covering this space. And as you tell me about the travails of creating this documentary and creating this resource, am I seeing in you a pivot to meta media? Peeth, is that your new media production company? Are you going to be doing more of these?
Yes, actually, yes. So like you might also notice like so the common theme with the documentary in my previous project Metagame. So like it was kind of the same mission, which is to onboard people and teach them about like why this technology matters beside number go up. And as some of your listeners also know, like my project failed, but I still believe in this mission and believe in this technology. So we kind of decided to do the documentary, and behind the documentary finally is growing the meta media production company, which has been a meme for years. So we'll also be doing this kind of content as a service in case some cool projects want to run a podcast or get some event coverage or a newsletter or whatever. There's a few of us that are willing to do that. But our main project after this, so have you heard about the Crecimiento and the Bring Argentina on Chain initiative?
I have not, and likely our listeners have not also. So why don't you tell us about it?
All right. So while we were in Chiang Mai recording interviews, I met a guy called Santi, who is the main coordinator of the Crecimiento community and now the organizer of the Bring Argentina on Chain hackathon, which has been a hackathon going on for 2 or almost 3 months. Already started. or is about to start, and it's ending right before Dev Connect. So they are bringing together, I don't know how many hundreds of people from across Argentina. And yeah, the team is bringing Argentina on chain. So trying to figure out like what are different use cases from Argentina and different things that could be built for like replace different public services, or yeah, whatever other thing that will be useful for people in Argentina. Right now, they are already like one of the biggest adopters of crypto in the world, because they have the peso is collapsing, so they adopted the stable coins, and that made people very open to crypto. So like the community has been growing like crazy, and so our next project will then be going to Argentina for Dev Connect and talking to people over there and recording a kind of a follow up to the documentary called Argentina on Ethereum, and we hope to continue like that, either like making them based on like by visiting different countries and seeing how crypto is being used, or Ethereum is being used in that specific country, or episodes that go deeper into specific topics. So like right now we covered like 15 topics in 40 minutes, and the idea is to like create follow-on episode that will be like a 10-minute episode that's all about DAOs and goes deeper into DAOs or DeFi or whatever other subtopic. But yeah,
Mhm.
first Argentina on chain. Really looking forward to that one.
Sounds interesting. I'm gonna be following your work. Where do I do that if I'm interested in learning more about your work?
PTET. So on Twitter, PTET, PETHETH. On Telegram, you can also contact me, PETHETH. I'm gonna also share the link to the newsletter. That's where I post all the biggest updates. But yeah, those are the main two things. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. So there's a link to the YouTube channel on the website, builtonethereum.network. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Pete. Glad to have you. Just watched the documentary and I definitely recommend it. It's about 45 minutes, 50 minutes, and definitely worth the time. Check it out at builtonethereum.network. Pete, anything I didn't ask that you want to say?
Not really. I think it was, we kept it short, but I think we covered everything that was important about this.
The documentary covers everything. So go check out the documentary at builtonethereum.network. Thank you so much, Pete.
And donate, please. Don't make me beg so much.
Check out the documentary and donate on builtonethereum.network. Thanks, Pete.
Awesome. Thank you.
Alrighty, we just heard from Pete. I'm excited about builtonethereum.network because I think it captures that OG spirit of the people who got into the space for coordination, for solving the world's problems, and for doing more interesting, complicated, beautiful things than what is currently mainstream in the space. So it was a lot of fun to talk to Pete, even more fun to watch the documentary. Go check it out on builtonethereum.network. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.